Hi everyone and welcome back to the Financial Fox Crypto Show. This is Steffi and another episode where we are going to be talking about development in the crypto space. My special guest is Daniel Wang, founder and CEO at Loopring, a DEX protocol on Ethereum. Before I introduce you to Daniel and we are going to start our conversation and finding more about the project, I want to say a big thank you to all our viewers, all our followers. Thank you so much for watching, for sharing the content, and please keep up sending us feedback and helping us to grow the channel so we can bring more interviewees, more amazing projects to you, and also nurture this amazing discussion about how technology is changing the world of investment, the world of finance, and it's very exciting. And I hope we can do more and more for all our viewers. Anyway, thank you again. So now let's connect to Daniel Wang and let's find more about Loopring. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Where are you calling from?
I'm actually right now in Shanghai, China.
Okay. Hope the situation is better there than is in Europe with the pandemic. Anyway, listen, I introduced your project, but before we go into Loopring, maybe you can tell a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in crypto and then you started Loopring.
Sure. I have been an engineer until this moment. I used to work for Google as a software engineer, and then I went back to China to become entrepreneur. I set up a few companies in China. One of them is a Bitcoin exchange back in 2013, I guess. And then I gradually, get interested in Ethereum, and then we have some idea about the decentralized exchange, and then we founded Loopring. So that's why I got into this DeFi space. So it's quite natural to me because I know code, I know like reading white papers. So I just got attracted by all those ideas, the blockchain powered. So yeah, here we are.
Do you maybe want? Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it's kind of very exciting to see how the technology is really shaping up. All the industry and the finance industry, which has been quite old-fashioned for so many years, and so unfair as well. Because I think this is a big point that blockchain is trying to bring, build something that is more democratic, let's say.
Yeah. So when we talk about DeFi, decentralized finance, we are really talking about making the finance infrastructure available to everyone, to all the people around the world. So right now, I think accessing to financial tools are pretty expensive for normal users or for everyday, except those Wall Street guys, right? They have the internal knowledge, they know the rules, but we don't. So our capital doesn't make the same profit as their capital. So it's not a fair game. So when we talk about blockchain DeFi, we really think, maybe it's a chance for technology to enable, everybody to access DeFi. And then maybe blockchain have some other applications like tracing products or something else. But I think we can start from DeFi because finance is really important to everybody. So being open, being accessible for everyone with very low cost is important. And of course, one of the principles or some ideas people believe is that when we access DeFi, because there's no central party controls the infrastructure, there should not be any or more trust in the infrastructure. We should be just do a trustless interactions or composabilities of services based on blockchain or some infrastructure built on top of blockchain. So yeah, the idea is being for availability to everybody. Then we have a much better world, I believe, because we don't have to rely on Wall Street to make money, and it's not fair. Yeah, and especially after this game, this fancy story about the game. What's the name of the?
GameStop and Reddit. Yeah, exactly.
Who controls the rules, who can break the rules, right? Yeah, it's not a fair game.
Listen, one question. What's the feeling of working on DeFi and in the crypto space in China? That is quite like a controlling country. And I don't know, give me a little bit, give me a reason, give me an explanation.
Well, I from the because I used to live in the U.S. in New York City. From the Western perspective, I think it's reasonable to believe living in China is under some kind of pressure, like surveillance. But from a blockchain entrepreneur's perspective, I think it's quite open, to be honest. As long as we don't touch fiat or RMB, there's no problem. I think it's much better than in some other countries, some smaller developing countries. I feel like very comfortable in China, but I know there's a right line that we cannot cross. But otherwise, I feel really excited, being part of this ecosystem. Every day you will feel you learn something new, and you feel like sometimes exhausted by those new ideas because you have to keep learning, exactly. And that really consumes your energy. To be honest, yeah, it's a mix of things.
I think this is also the excitement of working on something that is kind of new and is developing. And now let's not wait too long before we talk about Loopring. So give me an overview of what Loopring is, and also where the name come from.
Let me answer the second part of the question. So we used to be something different. We used to offer a technology that people can use to match multiple orders together. So like three people, they can trade in a circular way, like in a loop, in a ring. So we just come up with the Loopring idea to describe this new technology. But later on, we switch our gear. Luckily we are the first ZK rollup implementation on Ethereum. Basically, it's just a scaling solution for Ethereum without losing any security that Ethereum offers. So it's all about making the blockchain available to everybody. If you take a look at the current transaction cost for Ethereum, it's like tens of dollars per transaction.
Yeah.
You just do one transfer of some tokens or Ether. It's too expensive to for a mass to adopt this technology. So our technology will enable people to transfer with only like 5 cents USD or 10 cents USD per transfer. So it's multi-level, it's much smaller than on Ethereum itself. But we also inherited Ethereum's basic security guarantees. So in general, it's a layer 2 scalability solution that we offer for Ethereum.
Okay.
Is that technical?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's too technical. I think I will be interested to understand how can you manage to lower the fees so much, because that's a very big point. Many people are kind of resilient to join the DeFi space because this fee they prevent them to because if you are dealing with money, somebody said that you need around 5 to 10 grand minimum to get a start, otherwise the fee are not justified. So, not everybody is in that position if you want something to become to go in mass adoption, basically.
Yeah. So I can explain the the technology behind this solution. So basically, when we do a transfer, so we have at least two kinds of roles. One is the transactor, the person who do the transfer. The other one are like the Ethereum miners who build the blocks and reach consensus. So when you do Ethereum transfers, when you send out a transfer, then all these miners will also do the same computation to make sure this transaction is valid. So the same work has to be done by multiple miners. So that's a cost that the transactor has to pay. With the new technology, only one party can do the computation without using Ethereum. And all the Ethereum miners will just do the verification. So the new technology basically, separates computation from verification, so that verification is on Ethereum, which is really, really a small portion, compared to the computation itself, right? A very simple example. Let's say you want to calculate the square root of a number, right? If you do that, with a pen, then it will take a long time. But if you just want to verify if a number is a square root of some number, then it's quick because you can just multiply and then you get it, right? So the computation is really takes a lot of time and effort and cost, and the verification is really trivial and easy and cheap. So the idea is just really just use Ethereum as a verification layer or a settlement layer, and move all the computations off Ethereum to a traditional, internet infrastructure. That's the idea behind the ZK rollup or layer 2 solution.
Yeah, and that is obviously a protocol where other projects can also build on that, which is very important as well for the development of all the DeFi ecosystem as well. This kind of ability to cooperate and to give something to somebody else to develop something. Can you explain maybe how that works? That somebody can actually take your protocol and scale their proposition on that.
So we all like open source software. So we want to learn from each other. We want to compose each other's service of infrastructure so that the DeFi is the big picture, and we are building each small pieces, right? And then we compose. We put all those pieces together, and then boom, we have a DeFi. So Loopring is offering the layer 2 solution, and some other projects may offering like a borrowing and lending, and some offering exchange or wallet. And we don't believe one single party or team can offer everything from bottom to top. We want to make sure each one can excel in one small area, and then collectively we offer the DeFi infrastructure to the world. So basically that's the idea. So working with each other, being composable, being open source and free of use. So no like patent fees, no some other fees. I think that's very important. So I think that's the core value that the most DeFi projects really embrace, and we are one of them. So yeah, open source, composability. Yeah.
Listen, if somebody goes on your website or on your social media, see all these kind of complicated words like ZK, roll up, exchange, and do you maybe want to explain the few basics ones so people know what you mean with those words, and they don't panic, thinking it's something from Mars or alien?
Oh, that's a really good question. And it's a challenging topic to explain the technologies behind a product or user experience. Ideally, we don't have to explain to users what ZK rollup is and what zero knowledge proof is, because it's really hard. It's the core science. But I really believe a good user experience will explain everything. ZK rollup basically is just using zero knowledge proof as the verification method to verify a lot of transactions as a batch. But again, I don't want to make people understand this technology because that's engineering's job. And in front of the engineering team, we have a product manager, we have UI designers, we have app developers, website developers. They are, handling this converting the technology into product. And our users should just enjoy the good user experience, not caring about why we should use it because it is cool technology behind it. No, only user experience will speak for the product, not the technology behind. But most people, most early adopters of or investors of Ethereum or blockchain, they are from a technical background. So when they talk with each other, they usually talk about technology. But I think sometimes just because we know technology, we feel like we should talk about that. That's not a good a message to the market, to normal users.
I think that the point is like, anybody can open a computer, tap a button, and just get the computer to operate. And when you come to blockchain, there are so many terms that, it seems so complicated, but it actually shouldn't be. As you said, it's all about users' experience. Listen, about the community, what Loopring is doing to embrace and to nurture his community, and also to incentivize users to come.
So we are still working on a DAO. So eventually we want to make sure a lot of our settings, like parameters, can be controlled or voted by community. So we want to give power to community and let them to somehow manage certain things, but not everything, because I don't really believe in democracy when it comes to technology, because for technology, we need somebody like Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, who has vision, who has leadership to really drive something forward. But for some other like economic related thing that the normal user, they understand, they can contribute to the idea. So I think the DAO will actually make a lot of sense going forward. We are also very open to deliver messages to our community. If you check our blog, we have hundreds of blogs and weekly or monthly reports to tell our community what's going on, what we have done, what our challenging remaining tasks. So we are being really open. We are still from the engagement perspective, we are still a bit behind compared to other DeFi projects. We don't have a DAO yet, but it will come eventually. So that's about our community, which is pretty large, I think, and it's global, not just in China. We started from China, but now it's like a global community.
You have a launch in March. Do you maybe want to tell us a little bit about what we should expect?
So we have two products. One is a decentralized exchange built on top of our protocol. The other one, which is less known, is a smart wallet. So basically you have a wallet app on your phone that can manage your Ethereum asset, and you don't have a private key. You only have your friends, your family members who wants to be your guardians, and then they will collectively secure your wallet. So when something bad happens, for example, your phone is lost, you can just reach out to those guardians, say, hey, I got my phone lost. I got a new phone. I need to recover all my assets on this new phone. And if they vote for it, then your money is back. So you don't have to go through those like keywords, those like private keys, stuff like that to make sure your assets are secure. So we are rolling out the Android version of the app, and we are working on initial release of the iOS app. Right now we have over 5,000 app users and more than 10,000 website users. With iOS, maybe that number will double.
Okay, that's pretty exciting. So anything else that you are excited for this year?
Yeah, so right now we are trying our very best to make sure the user experience is good enough. Um, because as I said, we want to hide all those technologies from our end user. And we want to offer the best user experience, trading experience, especially. We also
Are you
launched our
using test? Are you using like your mom as a test or anybody, that is doesn't have a technical background? How are you testing this user experience? I think it's a good question because when you're saying this is one of your priority, I think it's important to also understand what's your parameters, how are you working on this?
Yes, My wife is a lawyer. She's using that, and uh, the family members of our engineering team, they are all using our
Uh,
app. They give a lot of valuable feedback. Something we feel take granted. They feel like really weird because they are not technical people. We also, engage our community. So we have WeChat groups in China. We have tens of groups with hundreds of people there, and they give feedback by ping us using the IAM software. So we got a lot of feedback, thousands of pieces of feedback from them, and many of them are really valuable. So we listen to the community, we work for the community, we deliver to the community. I think that's something really different from like a traditional internet companies. They also listen to their users, but not so closely, not so interactively as a community.
I think you brought a good point. There is a line to draw based on expertise and competence that is important to move the project forward. But earlier on, you also mentioned about collaboration. You mentioned about being open to work with other projects. What I wanted to ask and maybe pick up your brain on, in these DeFi worlds where things are just getting started, there are many projects out there, but we are still in a very nascent, in a very early stage. What's your take on Loopring collaboration with other projects, and how would you like to move things forward?
So we want to use our technology to solve the problems that a lot of centralized exchanges are experiencing. For example, for users to deposit and withdraw from a centralized exchange, they have to send money on Ethereum, which is really costly, maybe $20 to $50. So we want to use our technology to solve that problem. If they use our technology, each deposit and withdrawals will take only like 5 cents or 10 cents. Um, so that's something we really want to work on. The other thing is liquidity. We really want to work with a lot of liquidity providers to make sure on layer two the price of markets of tokens are competitive. We also want to make sure withdrawal experience from layer two to layer one is also good enough. So we launched a fast withdrawal service. And then going forward, maybe we want to work with other DeFi products like borrowing and lending, maybe derivatives, maybe something else. Who knows? But in general, we are really open. We want to help them to migrate to layer two. We want to offer our experience and advice when they don't want to work with us, but they can just talk to us to make sure their DeFi product can solve the Ethereum scalability problems. So we want to help because we receive a lot of help from the community, from other projects. So this is a big family. We are competing with each other, but we are also helping with each other.
Yeah.
Probably because we also hold a lot of tokens of other projects, teams, tokens. So we hope um, eventually some team will succeed, and maybe our holdings will worth something, right? Um, I'm a big Ethereum believer. I hold some Ether, so if Ethereum they can have some projects explode, get adopted by a massive user base, then Ether will go up, and I will benefit from that. So it's not just the project; it's about the ecosystem, about blockchain as a whole. I also hold like a Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin, is successful, I can also benefit from there. So from my perspective, it's really not just the Loopring. It's everything Ethereum, everything blockchain. Yeah, that's about it.
So basically, usually people talk about three blocks. Some people, they believe, are Bitcoin lovers. They just think Bitcoin is going to be the one that is here to stay. And some others, they are in a middle way thinking, right, also Ethereum has got, its good points. And maybe from a business application perspective, that is the one that is going to grow more. And then there are other people that look, a different kind of chain and they see the potential there. Where would you put yourself? How do you think, what I'm trying to say, how do you think the DeFi space is going to evolve, and which will be kind of like the driver, let's say, of the space?
Well, the blockchain and DeFi is fairly new, so we don't have a lot of data to make predictions, but we can take a look at like the gold market and like USD or Euro or RMB, the total amount, right? I think it's fairly reasonable to say Bitcoin is the digital gold, but gold is not the largest market. It's US dollar. It's like trillions of a lot of money, right? So Ethereum or similar application blockchain platform, the market cap will be much bigger eventually than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has the least risk because it doesn't have a lot of factors. It's just simple as a reserve of value, right? So you don't expect a lot of things, coming out from Bitcoin blockchain technology. It's just there, sadly simple as digital gold, but it won't be used as a foundation to improve our lifestyle. It just goes. But Ethereum, if we deploy different applications, DeFi included, then our life will be better, and so more people will benefit directly from Ethereum or similar platform. So that value will be tens, if not hundreds of thousands times bigger than Bitcoin. So for now, I believe Bitcoin is still the best investment vehicle. But going forward, I think it will be a platform like Ethereum. So as of now, I don't see a competitor that can beat Ethereum in terms of DApp adoption. So at least within like 2 or 5 years, I think Ethereum is still my favorite blockchain project. Bitcoin is second, Loopring third.
And the market is enough big. I mean, if we are seeing, it's not that Amazon has got all the share of the market. There is Facebook, there is Microsoft, there is Snapchat. So there are other projects that, in the internet boom, they actually managed to become big. So surely there is enough share of the market to get players, maybe also specialized players, because Ethereum can be the foundation for something, but there might be some other chain more specialized. They are going to be the winners in their own specification, and I think that is something interesting to watch and see.
I totally agree with you, and to just add my side to that, I think some countries may use their power to make a certain platform, popular in that jurisdiction, right? So China may have a blockchain that Chinese government feel comfortable with, and then they promote that, or at least not control, not reject that platform. So different jurisdictions may have different applications and may some projects may just survive or thrive in that country. So yeah, I agree with you.
Something that I really don't understand is why the US, with all this controversy with China from a political perspective, is not kind of going more into crypto and put some Bitcoin on their balance sheet substantially, because they should have enough crypto knowledgeable people there. It's just something they kind of missing.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't. Yeah, it's really hard to predict. But I think in general, the regulators in the US are more open-minded, and they are more confident that they can control. They can, DeFi is not, out of control, right? They have confidence, and then they will be more open. But if a country is not really comfortable with something and they fear that something is going to going out of control, then they will make sure nobody is doing something related. Yeah, so you see in in North Korea, in maybe India, the regulators are really I don't know how to say that, but I feel like they will change their minds eventually if US set up laws to regulate every crypto sector. US is still the most favorable place people go to, because if you are clever, you are smart, you work hard, and then it's easy for you to grab a chance, some opportunities to get wealthy. So yeah, so I agree. So eventually all the regulators will think about how to attract talents, keep talents in their country. Otherwise, the economy will not going well.
Yeah, we suffer. Agree. Okay, Daniel, it was a pleasure to talk to you. And listen, I'm looking forward putting Loopring on the watch list and looking forward to all the development. You seems pretty exciting, so excited. So I think we are gonna see some very interesting stuff coming up.
Thank you, Stefina. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, this is everything from the Financial Fox today. I hope that you enjoyed the interview. Please subscribe to our channels and don't forget to send us your feedback, and I will see you next time.